Okay, so major service Ferrari 355. Let's see what we've got in the box ready to go on. Okay, so in the 355 major service we've got 2 Cambelts, oil filter, fuel filter, spark plugs, what's this, air filters 2. And the very important hydraulic tensioners, genuine Ferrari. There's 2 of them, and as you can imagine, it's tensioners, the tension of the Cambelts. Got the bearings that the Cambelts run on. And just for a bit of bling bling, we're going to refresh the rocker covers as well. It's a nice crackle red paint. And also, whilst the rocker covers are off, put on some nice new rocker cover gaskets as well, and they come with the spark plug rings that go on the head. That's about it, nothing else. So, also while the engine's out, I thought we might as well chuck on a nice Capristo stage 2 exhaust as well. Let's have a look what it looks like. Oh my gosh. Wow, we got 3 cups as well, Luke. Never mind the exhaust, look what that is. Yes! Capristo cups, that's what I'm talking about. Wow. Look at that. Something about new exhausts, and that is cool. Only for competition. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so we're going to do a before and after for the Capristo exhaust. So this is the standard exhaust that's on at the moment. And we've got a janky iPhone decibel meter. Hopefully it's accurate enough. Yeah, go for it. So we peaked at about 100, 103 there, I think, on a light rev. Yeah, come back, see how loud it is when it's got the new exhaust on. Okay, day one. Progress so far. Looks pretty bare. Hopefully the engine will be out tomorrow. Plenty more to do though. I'll come back to that. So, we've got all the heat shields off, underbody stuff. We've got all our bolts lined up in nice trays, ready to go back on in order. There's the old exhaust. And there is going to be the new one on our parts table. Looking good. So tomorrow, EGR pipe off, all these electrics, there's all sorts of electrics that need doing, and vac pipes and lambda sensors. Label all these up, pull them all out, put them all onto the engine, keep everything away from where it's going to be dropping. Then it'll be oil out, coolant out, brake pipes, handbrake cable, electrics, fuel pipe at the back there. That can all come out. And then I think it might be drop the bolts, set it on stands and raise it up. So fingers crossed, everything goes to plan. Okay, day two. I didn't video the electrics, but I took off all the side here, lambda sensors, suspension, wheel speed sensors, battery cables. I took off the EGR pipe as well. Obviously the same on this side, and down here there's some plugs down there as well. Not a very exciting job, so I didn't record it, like I said. Next thing to do though is raise it up, drop some oil. So now the oil's dropped, obviously did it from the sump, tighten that back up again with a new washer. Drain the oil from here as well, as you saw in the video. I've also not videoed or time-lapsed because it's a bit of a boring job, to be honest. It's not really worth filming. Oil line across here, disconnected this oil line from the bottom of the oil cooler. The brake pipe behind there, solid brake line, and again on the other side, same again, clutch and brake line on this side. So yeah, next is handbrake on the other side, cable off, like that, and then back up top. Okay, up top now. Next job, take this cover off, and then we're going to get onto the fuel lines. So there's one that goes down here, up to the fuel filter. There's two on each fuel rail, down each side. Two there, and two down there, that you can see. And then there's two 5mm Allen head keys behind there. Let's see how we get on. So, fuel pipes are out of the way, block's been disconnected there, bungee strap back, fuel lines all tied up, out of the way, ready for dropping down. Next on the menu will be coolant pipes. So coolant pipes, a big one here and a big one here, and the coolant tank out as well. Let's see how we get on. Day 2 done. So as you can see, it's a bit of a mess back here. It's not been much to film today, unfortunately, but lots of progress was made. There's loads of coolant pipes off, coolant tank out, engine cover off. Tomorrow, fuel pipes as well. They're all off. Tomorrow will be the AC lines down there and power steering there. And that's pretty much everything that needs to come off, I think. Oh, and the ECU as well has been uncovered. That's in the back here. That wiring loom has to get disconnected and fed through when you drop the engine. So yeah, fingers crossed tomorrow, more progress, probably even engine out. Famous last words. Day 3, nearly ready to come out. Just 1 or 2 pipes this morning. Did the power steering pipes there, you can see, and AC pipe, top one and bottom one, and tied them up out of the way. Next thing to do really is all the bolts, set it on stands and see what happens. Hopefully we're all ready to come out. I've had a final check round for the wiring and clearance and make sure everything's out of the way and disconnected. Next will be 6 bolts back here, 1, 2, and then 2 up there. Same on the other side as well. And then hopefully we can drop it on stands, undo the bolts and drop it out. I think the most difficult part is going to be feeding the wiring through from the inside for the ECU. Got to take it nice and easy and just feed it through as it comes up. Yeah, let's see what happens. As you can see, engine out. Wasn't that bad actually. Wasn't too bad at all. The hardest part was feeding this bloody wiring loom in through the car and out the back of the rear firewall, but yeah, it's quite a big lump. And we'll get on to the next stage, which will be removing all this so we can get right down to the Cambelts. Yeah, it's pretty cool so far. Looks pretty awesome. Sat there on the floor. Yeah, I'm happy with that. End of day 3, as you can tell, or hear, it's pissing down as usual. But anyway, belts are all exposed now. Tomorrow's job will be set TDC, rocker covers off, just to check timing marks, and obviously we're going to spruce them up a little bit as well because they're a bit ropey. As you can see there, they're all corroded and awful. So yeah, pretty good day actually. We'll come back tomorrow and crack on. I'm happy with that. See you in a bit. Day 4. Okay. So I've got in this morning. Obviously it wasn't far out actually, only needed a quarter of a turn to set TDC. Luckily somebody's been here before and left us a few markers. I've gone ahead and put my own on anyway. So I've come in, turned it TDC. There's 2 marks on this pulley, or on the crank sensor wheel anyway. So there's one here, one here. So I've gone ahead and marked those with some nice gel nail polish. I found the best thing for it really. I've been using it for years. So I've set TDC. Obviously you can see there. Again on the crank sensor. Up to the camshafts. These are the marks that somebody else has put on in the past, but I've just put my own white ones on just to make sure. So you can see it's the tooth there matches up with the center of the other tooth there. And again on the other side, those 2 match up perfectly. So I'm going to leave that where it is. I've loosened the crank pulley as well and slid that back a little bit so you can get the belts past. Next job really is rocker covers off, check the timing marks in there, make sure we're all good, and yeah, crack on with the cam belts. Here we go. End of day 4. Doesn't look like much has happened, but it has. Rocker covers off. They look really nice inside actually. I'm really quite happy with them. Looks great. Main job today was to get the cam belts done, as you've just seen on that time lapse. It's took a while, but that's just because I wanted to make sure everything was perfect. So you can see the nice new cam belts and the new tensioners as well. This was the thing you need to get right. So this gap here, right there, needs to be 2.5 millimeters precisely. So that took a little bit of jiggery pokery. You'll probably see it on the video. Adjusting here, tightening here, adjusting, tightening, adjusting, tightening, just to make sure that when you pull the pin out, the distance between that is 2.5 millimeters. But yeah, all has gone to plan. I turned the engine over a good few times, and all the timing marks are nicely lined up. You can see there, there, and there. and even on inside the head as well. So yeah, really happy with that. Good day. I guess we're over the hill now, so next job is rocker covers. See you tomorrow. Day 5. This will probably be a day of cleaning, to be honest. We've got the rocker covers off, obviously, all our bits and bobs that need painting. So I'm going to clean all these up, get all the old gaskets off, bits of sealant and all that sort of stuff. See what we can do about getting them prepped for paint. I'll probably also do a bit of maintenance on the motor as well. Mainly spark plugs, probably oil filter, swap that out while it's on the floor as well. Just clean it and prep, ready to put everything back together, really. No big jobs today, unfortunately, to record, but they'll be coming. It'll soon be time to put this on as well. Can't wait for that. Here we go. After cleaning all the gaskets off, being very careful with a very sharp blade to take no material off the actual metal itself. It's looking nice and clean on the inside now. All the mating surfaces are all free from any old gaskets, and got as much as I can out of the old crud. Looking really good. The actual spark plug lead cover itself is looking really ropey, but luckily it fits in our vapor blaster. So let's see how we get on with that. The actual rocker cover itself, or cam cover, rocker cover was old school. The paint is really tough, so I'm going to see how I get on with a wire wheel. You can see I've tried chipping up a little bit away on this side, but yeah, it'll be right. We'll get it off eventually, ready for the new paint. Let's see what we can do with this thing in the vapor blaster. Both cam covers nice and clean. Like I said, I've scraped all the gaskets off and been really careful getting everything off. Then I chucked them in the parts washer to get any old oil and crud off on the inside. Washed them out, blasted them with a bit of compressed air, and they're all fresh, ready for paint removal now. I have opted for paint stripper, so I'll probably put them outside, paint them with paint stripper, let it do its job, and then agitate it, jet wash it off, whatever. Let's see how we get on. Paint stripper seems to be doing pretty well. It's having a tough time getting the black stuff off though. I think it's been painted in the past red, but it was originally black. But it's working pretty well. The other side here, it's been baking for about 10 minutes. We'll get it outside and give it a jet wash in another 10 minutes. In the meantime though, I think we'll get some spark plugs in this and change the oil filter. Let's do it. Just going to pause the time lapse a sec. I've just put the new spark plugs in. Made sure all the gaps were okay. And we're just about to get onto the oil filter. Been to the box, had a look. Nice new oil filter here. This one says Ferrari. So we'll stick that on. Here we go. Bloody Nora. That was literally the tightest oil filter I've ever had to deal with. You can probably see on the time lapse how long it actually took. I had to get a massive bar on it with my oil filter grips on. Practically destroyed the oil filter getting it off. Madness. It must have been a bit of stiction over the years. It was lubricated, or it appears to be anyway. And it's all good inside there. Very strange. Anyway, it's off now. I can put the new one on. Onto the rocker covers. Have a guess where this is going?
In the bin.
End of day 5. Really happy with what's gone on today. Spark plugs in, oil filter done. The worst oil filter I've ever had, but it's on now and done. And I didn't film it because it was a bit of a messy job. Got all the cam covers looking nice. They still need a little bit just coming out, but they'll be ready for prepping and painting pretty soon. The surface is really good, so yeah, really happy with that. On to the next one. Day 6. I've not videoed any time lapses today because I've been mainly cleaning and painting, so there's not much going on, to be honest. Nothing worth watching anyway. What I have done though is managed to get the rocker covers all nicely painted with the crackle stuff. I left it up here on the top shelf where it's warm to cure overnight. Maybe a day or two will be all right. Obviously you can see where it says Ferrari and something else Italian. That has to be taken back. So once it's dry, we'll get a nice flat sanding block. Obviously go over it nice like that, and to bring back the aluminium shine through, and it should look pretty cool. I'm really quite happy with them. First time I've ever tried to do crackly red paint, and it's come out well, so yeah, it looks well. Other things to note, I've also cleaned the camshaft caps off the end. Obviously the camshaft sensor has all been cleaned. That needs to go back in there and it doesn't want to stay. Cleaned all the nuts off, ready to go. There's the other camshafts there. That's the old seals. Still waiting to put this beast on. There's my nice Alpha in the corner there. We'll probably come back to that actually in a sec. I'll show you the engine bay that I did a couple of months ago. Well nice. I've also, I'm not going to take it off, but I've cleaned all the surfaces, ready to install the new cam covers back on. These are going to be a little bit of a pain. So they have a really tiny recess where the O-ring sits for the spark plug seals. You can see in there we go, that's better. The ones that you get from Superformance actually were a little bit small, so what I have done is wrapped them onto this socket, and it's just stretched them very slightly just so that they sit in the holes really nice. You don't want them popping out. Obviously there's the new cam gaskets. Yeah, so once they're back on, we can get the covers back on, get all that boxed up, making it look nice, and hopefully get the engine back in pretty soon. Yeah, it's going to be pretty good. I'll just quickly show you this Alpha. So this is a 1750 Alfa Romeo Spider, Duetto, boat tail, whatever you want to say. It's our first project. Gorgeous car. We put it back together. Got it in October, I think it was. Completely in bits. Nothing looking very nice whatsoever. This is one of the steering wheels that we've done. Done a grand job with that. It's really, really nice. So the bonnet pulls under here. Let's have a look at this engine bay. Let me just get the bonnet stay. So, I've not actually had the engine out, but I have had the head off. Refreshed the radiator, painted all the exhaust manifolds. I've had all the brakes done. Most bits are new. You see how gorgeous that nice shiny cam cover looks on there. Really pleased with that. I'll come around the other side, show you the carburetors. So when I got this, the carburetors were absolutely filthy. Ruined, been sat for 20, 30 years, whatever. So I had them vapor blasted, put them all back together, and I even added the nice GTB trumpets just for a bit of customization. Yeah, really nice. This will be for sale soon as well. Got a thing for Italian cars at the moment. It's almost like its little brother. We've had this Porsche as well. You'll probably see in another video on the socials that this has been a recommissioning. It's a 924 Carrera GT, so it's a homologation special back in the 80s, 81 I think it is. It's got a lot of parts off a 911 on it, and they made it because they wanted to do some touring car or something, so obviously they had to make a homologation special production car so they could go racing. But yeah, that's been good fun as well. So yeah, day 6, not much video has gone on, but hopefully this is a nice little fill in, and we'll come back to it tomorrow, see what else we can do. See you in a bit. Day 7. I've managed to get these looking pretty good. They're just drying outside at the moment in the sunshine, or what's left of it anyway. Obviously I've taken out the centre spark plug covers. They're inside. I'll show you those. So I've actually let these dry enough now to be able to take the edge off the paint. I've just taken it off with a nice sharp blade, just the top edge, but you can still see that there's bits wrong. Bits not quite come off with that, which is why I've got a nice sanding block there, nice flat sanding block. I'll just show you one I made earlier. So you can see, after a right nice flattened sand with the nice sanding block, it's come out unbelievable. Super shiny, really nice. Really happy with them. And even inside the little holes where the countersink screws go, I've used just a drill with a countersink drill bit on it, and just taken the little bit of paint out. No material, no nothing, just the paint, so that they've all come up nice and shiny. They look really nice. Here we go. So I'm just going to show you now how I actually flatted these down. You can see, like I said, there's still some paint on them. They look all right, but certainly not perfect. So I've got this nice flat sanding block. It's actually a sharpening stone. Some nice paper wrapped around it. You'll be able to see how well it works. Just go over it nice and flat like this. just taking the top edge off. You'll see it start to shine. So you can already see, as obviously I've not done this end, looks a bit scabby, but then you come further towards where I have done it and it just looks unbelievable. It's come out so much better than I thought it would. I'll carry on with the other side. Beautiful. Now we'll just take out those little countersunk holes. Only takes a quick whiz. And there we go, ready to install. Really, really happy with them. Really happy. Here we go. So we're going to use the ultrasonic cleaner, I think, to clean up the nice bolts to put the stuff back on. Chip pan. We'll get the temperature nice and warm. Gas mark 7 for 15 minutes. See how our chips are getting on. Beautiful, nice and shiny. Rocker covers back on, cam covers, whatever. It went on tremendously, no issues, nice bit of sealant. I did put a very, very small skim across the bottom, just to be nice. This are supposed to go on dry, but honestly it was like the smallest little skim, just to be nice. Caps on the end, everything back in where it should be. They look really, really good. I'm really, really happy with them. They really do shine out of the top of the engine now. Absolutely fantastic. Next on will be the belt covers. And it's pretty much there then, ready to go back in. Just have a look how beautiful they are. Oh yes. End of day 7. Everything's back where it wants to be. Pipes back on, covers back on. All looking real nice. Ready to go back in. Those cam covers look ridiculous shining through. Really, really happy with them. They look absolutely brilliant. Look at that. Really happy with them. Cracking job. Have a guess what's next? Back in the hole. Let's see what happens. Today's the day. Engine going back in. Now I'm hoping that it's a nice, easy insertion. We're going to lower it down nice and carefully. Take my time, really take my time. Looking really good back here. Ready to go back in. You can see how it's all flat now. Ready for the engine to just slide right past and straight in. Obviously feed through the wiring loom. Bolt up all the back, the front, and raise it off the ground. Yeah. Hopefully it all goes swimmingly. Here we go. Right, all bolts are back in and all tight. Let's see what happens. Hopefully the engine doesn't fall out. Ta-da! It's all back in. Huzzah! Bit of a pain. Weren't as expected, to be honest with you, but these bolts, you want to get these in, fingered them in, so to speak. You don't want to try and wrench on them to try and get them in case you cross-thread the bolts into the chassis, because you finish then, that's it. It took a little bit of jiggery pokery, a bit of jacking, bit of nudging, bit of a how's your father, but they went back in eventually, all nicely finger tight first, obviously. The 2 bolts up there on either side, and then 1, 2 at the back, raised up. Perfectly fine. The wiring loom on the top, going back in through the bulkhead, that was probably the most difficult part, to be honest with you. Feeding it through slowly, and then obviously pulling through the plugs as well. I had to use a little, a little piece of wire through the bulkhead to try and get it into the zone, and then carefully sort of massage it through, let's say. But yeah, it all went down well. Got the grommet back in as well for the bulkhead. That was probably actually worse than the bloody cables, to be honest with you. Lubrication and screwdrivers and all sorts of stuff, but it all came through. ECU's all bolted back in again now, so I'm really happy. Yeah, so next on the stage is connect everything back up again. I suppose this is the easy part, isn't it? We'll see what happens, eh? Back up top. I've not recorded it because it's like bloody WrestleMania down here. There's no chance of even recording it. Wrestling those pipes on at the back, vac pipes, bleed off pipes, header tank pipes underneath, throttle cable, fuel injector plugs, heater pipes, and obviously the main coolant pipes at the back, the big chunky boys over there. Yeah, it's coming back together really well, actually. Next, what's next? I'll have to check my list. You'll find out what's next. Fuel lines are next. Pesky fuel lines on. Obviously I installed the top coolant tank there, and obviously the cover as well, and give it a nice clean. Looks fantastic. I think we'll leave it there for today. It's been a grand job actually today. Really happy. Engine back in, and actually got all the coolant lines done, brake lines, all the fuel lines. Pretty much the top end of the engine's all done now, and it looks really nice too. So yeah, see you next time. Part 9. That's going on today. So this morning I've put oil in, changed the fuel filter, bled the brakes, bled the clutch, what else, a few little bits and bobs tidying up, swapped the air filters out over there. They're all the boring bits that I didn't film because nobody wants to see me change air filters. So yeah, later on today I'm going to get the coolant in, the ATF inside the power steering pipes, and it'll top up the reservoir. Then it's exhaust time. I'll definitely film that because that's cool. Cool little project in itself, really, getting the nice new exhaust on. It's going to look great. So yeah, here we go. Big day today. All back together again, looking really nice. As you can see, bumper on, exhaust on, brakes bled, fluids topped up, airboxes back in, covers on, heat shields, everything looking really, really good. I think we might even go for a fire up tomorrow. It's all there. All you got to do is twist the battery terminal and off we go. Looks really, really well. I didn't get any shots of obviously the brakes and stuff getting back together and bleeding and all that stuff because it's just boring. The exhaust looks absolutely fantastic, even though you can't even see it from the top or from the back. Obviously you can just see the nice new exhaust tips, but I'll chuck in a few photos as I'm speaking that I got of the exhaust before the bumper and heat shield went back on, because it'll look really cool. If you're going to hot rod it, you'd definitely just leave the back bumper off. Rat rod Ferrari 355. Has anyone got one of them? So yeah, on to tomorrow. Off we go. Big day today. First fire up after all the job's done. It's looking pretty good. All the levels are topped up. I've left it overnight with coolant and oil to settle. Recheck this morning. Ready to go. Well, I suppose there's only one more thing to do. Let's do it. After a nice warm up, ran it a few times up to temperature, bled some stuff through. I've chucked this wheel arch on. I've still got the underbody trays and this wheel arch to do as well. It's looking fantastic. It really is looking great. Even underneath, no evidence of any drips, anything there, so must be a job well done, eh? Next thing to do, really, like I said, underbody trays on, wheels back on, and test drive. Just been out for a nice quick test drive. That exhaust sounds absolutely ridiculous. There's no leaks, everything looks good, sounds good. I think we'll call that a win. Okay, as before the exhaust got put on, we're going to do a decibel test. So we've got our janky iPhone again with the decibel meter at the bottom. Just about 80-ish, something like that. We'll see what happens when we rev it. Okay, I think that was good. Wow, I think that whizzed up to 118 or something, or 121. Jesus. That's up from 103 at the same revs last time, so I think we'll call that a win. Done. Here we are, project has come to an end. Couldn't have gone more swimmingly. Really happy with it. Just been for a test drive, got the bonnet back on. Everything is where it should be. There's no leaks, no rattles, no stupid noises. Exhaust is pretty stupid noise, but that was intentional. Yeah, really happy with how it's gone. No major issues. It's been really good fun. Just wanted to bring you along for the last bit of the journey. So this is my hot rodders cardboard. I learnt this off Roadkill, just a scrap of cardboard. And as you're taking stuff apart, write it all down. So that's every single stage, every nut and bolt, every part removed. Again, all there. Then once you got to the over the hill, you start at the bottom and work your way up. Cross everything off. You just got to remember to make sure you write everything down on the way out, so you know what to do it on the way back in. Just wanted to do the last one. I've just put the bonnet back on. And this is the best bit of the job. Last one, done. Next project, who knows what it's going to be. But yeah, this one's been great fun. Really happy with it. I'll see you on the next one.